Hello, everybody, and welcome to B Movie Euphoria 31 Days of Horror, days 18 and 19. Uh, whoa! Whoa! Woo! Ha! That's all I can say. For our first movie today, we are going to be talking about the new Halloween. That's right. This is the new Fangoria, by the way, which is very good. I've been reading it until I pass out, and then I wake up, and then I read it some more, and then I pass out again. And I'm sure there's some masturbation in between. But today's film, Halloween, the straight name Halloween, they didn't add on the return or resurrection. Well, they already did that one with Busta Rhymes, so they can't redo that. But they didn't add anything to it. They're just saying it's Halloween again. And it sure as fuck is. And thank God it's back. This film takes place right after the first film. It's a little sad because one of my favorite of all the Halloween films is Halloween 2. And I think I just recently fell in love with that one um, last year when we watched all the Halloween movies all over again. Uh, I feel like I really saw it for the first time, Halloween 2. And I was just really impressed with how scary it was and how uh, impactful it really was. And I really love that one. So I'm going to say that this new Halloween does not surpass Halloween. It doesn't, obviously, it does not surpass Halloween 2, but it is right there, number 3 for me. So maybe what they were trying to do is erase the memory of Halloween 3 and just have this be the kind of companion piece to 2. I don't know what they're doing. I don't really care. I was just happy to go see a Halloween movie in the theater, and by God, it was fun. It was um, basically, I've been reading some negative reviews. There aren't a lot because people are usually like, yeah, it's pretty good. But a lot of people are saying like maybe there's too much fan service or there's too little of this or that. I feel like you are going to like this movie as long as you go into it not expecting the greatest movie ever made. Because it's a very, very fun, awesome movie. But of course, there are things that are a little cheesy. My main problems, and I think a lot of people have stated this too, are, the first kind of 10 minutes of the documentarians or the podcasters. I don't know who these people are, but we kind of are reintroduced to Michael through these investigative reporters who come to see Michael at the insane asylum that he is currently at, and kind of try to provoke him with bringing out the mask and just the scene of the one of these journalists just yelling at Michael and be like, "Say something! Say something!" And I was just like, okay, all right. But, and this is what I realized. Okay, so I'm gonna see this movie a couple times. Like I already had bought my tickets to the. Just don't worry about it. I realized after a little thought, we kind of need these two characters, the man and the woman, the journalist. We kind of need them to facilitate Michael Myers' kind of escape and his reemergence, I guess, because otherwise, like, where the hell did he get the mask? How is he, what? Really, those two people are just there so that Michael Myers can get his mask back because there's no fucking reason that he would ever find that exact same mask because that mask came from absolutely nowhere. It came from like I don't know. But anyway, they were there. There were some great kills, and other than that, I don't really want to say too much because if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. If you enjoy scary movies, if you enjoy funny movies, because this movie is very funny and very like it was such a smart decision to put Danny McBride as one of the writers because there's so much like snappy dialogue, uh, just like a lot of fucks, ton of fucks, and I love fucks. So and it's just really fun. And when you put an edge of humor and just a kind of like don't give a fuck attitude to something that's very serious and very scary, it gives this kind of levity where you're being scared, but then you have this moment of like, oh, this is funny. I can like relax for a second, and then you're scared again, and then it gives you a little bit of goofiness, and then ah. But if all of that is just so perfectly balanced, then it's just gonna be a really enjoyable experience, and that's what this was. It was enjoyable. It was great. Jamie Lee Curtis was amazing. I love her. The whole time I'm thinking, why isn't she in more movies? And it's obviously it might be a little bit because of this movie and the franchise and her being kind of pigeonholed into a part. But no, it is fun. There's just so many scenes that I really loved. There's things that I did not expect at all, and I was just kind of blown away by. I was like, oh shit. And that's a great sequel. That's a great. That is the mark of a great sequel, continuation, reboot, whatever, what have you, is that they do the fan service. They add in things that the fans want to see. They don't shy away from things, which this film definitely did not. There's tons of gore. There's tons of like great scenes of you know what, and I think you do. And there is, but you have to have surprises. You have to have things in there that you do not expect. And there was one thing that I was kind of expecting, and I was thinking, okay, they're going to reveal this in the end. And it didn't happen, and I'm glad that it didn't happen because I was like, oh, okay, this is why this happened. So this is the one thing that I thought happened. So Michael basically escapes. I'm not ruining anything. Of course, Michael escapes. He's got to kill all these people by the bus that's transferring him from one insane asylum to like a heavily more secured insane asylum. That bus crashes. All the inmates escape. This is what I thought because they showed a lot of scenes of Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode in her car, kind of like watching the insane asylum institution, just like watching it, her kind of like breaking down. What I thought was that she caused that bus crash. And I thought at some point, like during the end or some crazy moment, they were going to reveal that she actually caused it because she wanted Michael Myers to escape so she could go and attack him. I'm glad that that wasn't a thing, but I was like, ooh, they're going to surprise us with that. But if I already imagined it, then it wasn't much of a surprise. So I'm glad they didn't put that in. I'm glad that it surprised me. I'm glad that I went and saw it. I want to see it again. I'm so excited for maybe more. I don't know. I hope so. Just, oh, I watched I watched up to 6 of the other Halloween films we did, and it just definitely, I think that helps. I think it really helps to enjoy this film because a lot of those are bad, and this was way better than those. So if you like Halloween, if you like Michael Myers, if you like scary movies, if you like funny, tense, insane horror films, go see this. Okay, on to the next film, which is not going to take very long because, oh boy. Okay, so the 1988 or 87, it was filmed in like 85, but cutting class, y'all. So this is one weird fucking horror film. So this is one of the first movies of Brad Pitt. Jill Schoelen was just big back then, especially for horror. a lot of people have their favorite scream queens, Brink Stevens or Linnea Quigley or Jamie Lee Curtis, but my favorite is still Jill Schoelen, even after this movie made me want to um, flush it down the toilet, then set it on fire, and then take a big shit on it, and then, I don't know, shove it into a storm drain, then set it on fire again. Uh, I don't know. I just want it to be wiped from the earth. It's okay. It's not that horrible, and there are aspects of it that are okay, but it's basically it's a slasher at a school. People start getting killed, and Jill Schoelen is kind of the antagonist, or sorry, protagonist. I don't give a shit. It's just boring. It's like it has this goofy, almost parody atmosphere or feeling to it, but at the same time, it's trying to be like a legitimately scary film, and it's just the tone is all off, and it just feels really weird. And Roddy McDowall is in it, like lusting after Jill Schoelen at one point, and you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, he's really into her, sure. Um, I love Roddy McDowall, but I don't think he was attracted to Jill Schoelen. Uh, she's great. She's the one shining part of this film. I love Jill because she has this great, raspy, cute voice, which I've never really heard on anyone else. And she has this kind of innocence to her, which kind of pissed me off a little bit in this film because her boyfriend, played by Brad Pitt, is a total asshole and is always messing with this guy, played by, oh boy, Donovan Leitch, who, I don't know, he's never done anything else. Some stuff, probably. But there's no mystery here, even though they're like trying to make it a mystery where they're like, who's the killer? But they show you who the killer is, and you know who the fucking killer is. And even if you're thinking, oh, maybe it's somebody else, no, it's that guy that you fucking knew was the killer. So there aren't really any inventive ways of people dying. Brad Pitt is just, I just don't like him. I just don't like him in general. I haven't seen really anything that I like him in. And hate me if you want. I don't like Brad Pitt in this. I don't like him in anything. I just don't feel like he has any sort of range that I have seen. He just doesn't have the emotional back catalog to like be interesting. He's great as an asshole in this because I think he's an asshole. But yeah, so I guess see it if you want. It's coming out on Blu-ray for some reason. Not for some reason. It should be preserved. If you want to see an early Brad Pitt film where people are getting killed, but I don't want to ruin anything, but he doesn't get killed, which was a really big bummer to me. Then see this, I guess. It's something. I don't know if it's not really a horror film. Yes, it is, with people getting killed and all that, but it's not spooky. It's not scary. It just sits there like a big turd that you don't want to do anything because you don't want to touch it because it stinks. Anyway, that's my reviews for Halloween and Cutting Class. So, thank you for watching yet again. B-Movie Euphoria's 31 Days of Horror, days 18 and 19. I'll see you tomorrow. Go see Halloween as soon as you can. Fantastic movie. Cutting Class, you can skip.